Yes, guys, President here. See television, Sunday footy, www.youtube.com/Sunday footy. Right then, guys, game's just been uploaded onto the onto YouTube, right? Quick time, and I thought I'd do a quick analysis video. Not much to talk about today. I mean, Klosnic team beating Team Saj 2-1. A tight game. Not many chances created. A lot of defenders missing. And we were expecting a high-scoring game, but again, it was only 2-1. And, I mean, people who were playing in the game found it hard going. But as a neutral, I mean, there wasn't really much to it. I think the game didn't really get ahead out of Gear 2, or maybe touching Gear 3. But other than that, there's not much to talk about, so it won't be much of a long video today. But first thing, my cousin just got back from a Gandu queer wedding. Brought back these wine gums, P and T. I think it was Paul and Thomas. So I'm officially having my first involvement in a Gandu wedding. So some wine gums, which I'm going to taste. Gandu version, Batty Boy business. So let's have this before I get my analysis on. Tastes quite nice. Zarek and Shaq, I might join you guys in future. Not bad. Thanks, Phil and Thomas. Right. So, guys, what can I say? The game started off. Oranges were battering the Blues, especially when Klosnic was out. They were controlling it. They were breaking down the play. Shide and Bo started off amazingly, and Rizzi. They deservedly took the lead, even if it was a minute in Nemo's blunder. Zadek, that was your fault. That first goal was your fault, mate. Because as soon as the ball broke, the first thing Kaiser did as a centre-back, his instinct was to cover his ad because Bo was gone. He come across. You could see now, you can see everything. You can see Bo, you can see Kaiser, and you can see Rizzi. Shahid was miles behind. You done a George special. He was way past, probably just past the halfway line. He wasn't nowhere near. You might have seen him, but he wasn't no imminent danger. You seen Rizzi move, and you seen Rizzi in space. I personally reckon, Zarek, you weren't quick enough to catch Rizzi. Personally speaking, you know, I know you said to Kaiser mark Rizzi, but I reckon you weren't quick enough to get to Rizzi. Rizzi had an open header from, say, 2-3 yards and scored. Couldn't really miss. Again, Ishi, you said he scored an amazing header. Flipping heck, mate. Stop sucking the guy's no-nay. You know, yeah, it was decent. But again, it wasn't amazing. But deserved 1-0 lead. And they bossed the game. The Blues were very scruffy, patchy. They couldn't make nothing of it. I mean, Bucker, Saj, and Nemo, terrible. Couldn't link up. They were just mismatch. Kyle's passing, terrible as well. You know, wasn't as effective as you hoped to be. Ifta, made a few blunders like passing, but again, steady as well. And then the turning point when Klosnic went in goals, that should have been the turning point for the Oranges to get back in the game, because Klosnic was there in the middle as a stature figure. And, you know, he was breaking everything down, and he was in the right positions at the right time. As soon as he went in, it opened up the middle. I mean, Bo's not a centre midfielder by trade. They were pushing up. Burby then came on, and you guys didn't utilise that. Because at times, I mean, the strikers for the Blues, especially Buckers, Nemo, if he was playing up front at times, Saj, whoever went up front for the Blues, right, guys? You weren't making enough space. Gabby was just gobbling everything up. And, you know, the defence didn't really give you much of a sniff on yesterday. So the Oranges were struggling. Saj, you were too far wide at times, especially at the beginning. I mean, you were either far out left or you were far out right, which is fine, right? But when your midfield has the ball, i.e. Nemo, Ifter and Kyle, or even Buckers, because Buckers was dropping deep, I was impressed with his link-up play. He was laying balls off, and he was doing that bit. He was doing well. Saj, if you're starting off wide there, you gotta come in like that, bro. Your first run is not towards the line, byline. It's towards the goals. So at least then you're in. Or if you can't do that, don't go too far. Stand in between the centre back and the full back, in between the channels, because what that does is that causes confusion between the fullback and the centre back on who should mark you. And next thing you know, you got the ball and you're gone. But you weren't clever enough, because I mean their defence wasn't the quickest, and you know you weren't testing them for speed or nothing. Yeah, you had your moments, but nothing. Burby took scored the second deserved lead, and then Buckers stumbled over a goal. So 2-1, yeah, not much, but really the Blues only picked up after, like, I can't remember now, I think it was 40 minutes, 45 minutes into the game. Then it became more scrappy. Orange's gas finished, and you know they got a little bit more into the game, but still not an amazing another game. So yeah, guys, I mean, Orange's deserved winners. I gotta say, deserved winners. You know, if Klosnic just stayed out, I got a feeling it would have been a bit more. It would have been a bit more convincing for the Oranges. But you know, Klosnic winning goals, and then it made it a little bit more balanced out. Also, Blues, right? One thing you messed up, and you had an injured keeper, and I'm sure you guys took like 3 shots in the whole of the game. That's terrible. You can't do that, right? You got an injured keeper. You got to make the most of it. No one was shooting. There was no striker. At times there was no middle, because your 2 wingers, your 2 strikers, and Carl was pushing forward. That was 5 people out the game, and there was no shape to it. So it don't matter. What else, guys? Sad missed a few sitters. Buckers missed a sitter, but never mind. What else, guys? Some good performances yesterday, I gotta say. Kaiser, really impressed with you. All game, bro. You were 99% solid. You know, you were a really mature performance, some good tackles, good interceptions, and you were taking the lead. Ball distribution was good as well. If you weren't on a losing team, I would have given you the man of match award. But because you were on a losing team, and you know, that's the only thing which doesn't make you give you the man of the match award. But still, Kaiser, amazing play. If you could play like that week in, week out, brother, you know, we got a star on our hand. So last week I was calling you all sorts of names. Today I'm praising you. So that was a good game. Ethan also is worth a mention. I realised that he actually played this week rather than the past 3-4 weeks. We've always said fullback is your stronger position, because at least you're more involved. You get stuck into the tackle, and you know you're more involved in the game. I mean, you had your little moments and scares, but I mean the strikers weren't really alert enough to take advantage of it. I mean, you nearly scored an own goal. You tried dribbling it out too much. You did lose the ball once or twice or 3 times or whatever, but it was still a more you made much more of a contribution, especially at fullback. That was worth mentioning. Vidic as well. I was impressed with Vidic. Minus 1 or 2 funny passes. You know, the guy was really getting stuck in and passing and moving. Rizzy again. Again, I wouldn't say you played amazing, but like, you know, some people have referenced your performance too. But again, you were more involved. I mean, you were involved this week. You know, you were looking to get involved. So, meaning you were calling for the ball, you were chasing the ball, you scored a goal. You were looking for the 1-2s. Okay, majority of the time they never come off, but when they did come off, they were effective. And, you know, you were the focal point and the target man up front. I think you had a better game last week, but still, again, you won. It was a good turning point. Now, let's see, your season should hopefully improve from here. You know, you were pushing the right buttons, I reckon, you know, and you had a tough battle with Kaiser. And, you know, so really impressed to see Rizzy. Shahid and Bo, you started off good, guys, especially Shahid. I mean, like, he was on par for man of the match. But again, he died down. Bad decisions, bad moves, and, you know, hospital balls and looking for the spectacular. It wasn't happening. So Shahid Bhai, again, after 20-30 minutes, you died down, I'm afraid. Who else had a good game? Burby played all right. On the Blues, it was Kaiser. Azada was quite impressed with the fact that, you know, he just come in and, you know, he played defence and midfield and maybe a striker all through the game. He was moved around and, you know, he was quite effective. So Azad played well. Talat had a good stint in goals as well, minus his lapse of concentration. Well, I wouldn't call it a lapse of concentration for the second goal from Burby. I think he just wasn't quick enough. He couldn't get to it. So he was backpedaling. But other than that, Talat made some good challenges. Zarek 50-50 again made, you know, there was times where you were just terrible. But there was times you made some good challenges. So again, you played better last week, but this week you had better players against you, so sums it up. But my man of the match, right, guys, for the Oranges, seeing as, like, it was only 3 goals scored in the whole game, it had to be a defender. And I picked Gabby. Reason is I picked Gabby. The guy was faultless all game. I mean, he dealt with the threats of Nemo, Bucker, Saj, Kyle, whoever came at him. The guy was there. He didn't make a mistake. He marshaled his defense well. His team won, and his distribution was good as well. All game, the guy was pinging it left, right, forward, whatever. Maybe you could say, oh yeah, the strikers weren't performing, which was true. I mean, Nemo went out, were terrible, but you can't complain. So hence I give Gabby my man of the match for Sunday's match. What else, guys? Some funny moments. Ishii and Shaq on the commentary was just too funny at times. What else? When Talat's, the ball got smashed in Talat's face and he went from the near post, rolled over onto the far post, iron chin, as Ishii said. Also, Buckish's starfish mode. When he keeps falling on the floor for some reason and puts his hands out. And this time he done a front version and a back version. So well done, Buckers. What else? Also, when the ball went out and everyone's saying, yeah, throw in, and Tillett kept playing on and went for a shot, and Shaq goes, yep, he's got his 650s worth. That was funny as well. Rizzy, how's the ear, mate? You got red ears? Like Ishi said, Rizzy's gun's just like his socks or his shorts. That was funny. What else? Also, Kaiser, they were slewing you on, saying, go on, Bullet, go on, Bullet. Or Kasari saying, go on, Yakota, go on, Yakota. I'm surprised I haven't had no complaints lodged against you guys for that, but hey, keep it up. If you no problem with anyone, then yeah, keep it up. What else, guys? Talking points, yeah, guys. A few disturbing talking points. Ethan, right, you've been caught wearing studs, right? So you went and bought studs, which were unsuitable for Sunday footy. So you are official, like, you have been warned, and it's the same rules for all the people who have been, I mean, like we've discussed, I mean, even Doc, Nemo, Billy, Shide, whatever. So you're well aware, so now, Ethan, I got no choice but to rest you until further notice. So, I mean, I can't do nothing about it now, Ethan. I mean, fair is fair. I am very regretful, and I am a bit ashamed, but what can I do? You wore the studs, people complained, you caught a few mans, whether they're like intentional or unintentional, but this is one of the reasons why you shouldn't be wearing studs. So sorry about that, Ethan. So you're dropped until further notice. And also, if the after the game, I don't, really appreciative of your messages, guys. Not just Iftar, but everyone, for feedback and questions and issues or whatever. I mean, that's what the video's there for, which I don't mind. Amazing, right? Thank you very much for that. But don't be coming on the group like a big man, right, talking shit in front of everyone, saying, yeah, what are you gonna do, you pussy, oh, blah, blah, blah. Because if that's the case, then you can fuck off as well, right, mate? There's no need for that, right? Especially 2 minutes after the game. Don't try to test me saying what you're gonna do, bro, or whatever. So if they make up your mind, yeah, I mean, in front of the camera, you're a gentleman, but on the group, then with your voice note and your message, you're giving it a large saying next week I'm wearing what I'm wearing. So you're gonna be like that, right? If then again, stay home. There's no problem, because you gotta understand, right? If on a Sunday you're in charge, when I'm not there, you're in charge. For you, then anything like this is your situation. So, you can't just say, I don't know. You need to take the initiative sometimes, so do what you got to do. Also, guys, big up all the viewers as well. Slimy said, Baby Hue, Slim, and all the other subscribers who I don't know, the Mudney group, Abdul Salami, our mascot, Ashley Young, wasn't there this week, so hopefully he'll be back next Sunday. And also the Ghani brothers are missing next week, which is a shame, but hey, free food is free food. My God, right? And here's my mate. Here's my mate. My mate, my man. Okay, move. Yeah. And yeah, guys. So next week, I think it's Doc and Klosnic captains. So hopefully, will be a better game. A few more regulars are back. Shaq's back. Doc's back. Skippy should be back. Abid should be back. So we should have a better game. But yeah, guys, over and out, and speak to you later. Team can be the best.